Welcome to episode number 1 of The Fueled Life. My name is Charlie Collins, and I am a co host of this wonderful new podcast. And with me today, and who will be with me every day, every time we do this, is.
I'm Stanley Dietrich with 360 Life Without Limits, and I am a coach as well. And I'm excited about this podcast and the information that we're going to bring to our audience that has the ability to create transformation. And when I say it has the ability, it means that you actually have to apply what we're going to bring to you. And it's not applying all of it, but little doses as you go. Small hinges move big doors. So that's what we're going to bring you. We're going to bring you small hinges to move big doors, and you choose which door you want to swing.
But the bottom line is that the door of willingness must be cracked open no matter the hinge size.
That's it.
And that's something that when that door opened for me back in about 2007 is really when I cracked the door open to, wait, there's life outside of the world I was in. The small paradigm or the lenses I was using on a daily basis, which, wasn't fueling my life all that well. It was fueling it in a direction that I was feeling a bit tired, a bit angry, sometimes depressed. Something was missing.
Yeah, and our body has a way of telling us when we say, I don't know what it is that I want, but when I see it, I'll know it. That's our body's way of saying that, hey, there's something more that you're missing out on. And it's not just the fear of missing out, not FOMO, but it is our body's natural desire to get back and reset to its base. And then I think this is what happens, Charlie, is what addictions take place in, is that we constantly try to feed something with something that we think is working and it's not. And we constantly, like, how many times have I gone to the pantry and looked in the pantry and nobody's gone to the grocery store since the last time I looked and I couldn't find what I was looking for then.
Yeah, I hear you. And, Jim Rohn has a quote, the pain of discipline versus the pain of regret. We're gonna have pain in life. It's the pain to get on a new path, to do some work, to open our eyes, to read some books, to listen to some podcasts, and to take some new inspired action. There is some pain involved with that because it's against our norm, what we're doing. Right. But over time, that pain gets less because it becomes more of a habitual, more of a new way of living. Right. And it isn't so, it's more, because I'm getting the results. I don't the first day, the second day, the third day, but over time, I do start to feel better, look better, sound better, and be better. Is really my goal, is this the well-being of my body, mind, and spirit.
Right. I want to add life to my years, not just years to my life. Because there's a whole lot of people that have a lot of years and they're in misery, pain, unhappy. I don't want that. I want to have longevity. I want to have excitement. I want to have vibrancy every waking moment of my life. And when something is out of norm, I've discovered that I have the ability to have a response and change the outcome if I don't like it right now. Nobody told me that. Yeah.
No, nobody did. So you mentioned, again, my name is Charlie Collins. I've been legally blind for 44 years. Okay. I've also recovered alcoholic and drug addict. And because I had a lower self, a lower self-esteem that talked trash about myself a lot. I had the belief that I wasn't good enough, smart enough. I had conditioned mind over time that really sought pleasure. It needed alcohol, drugs, it needed food. It didn't need a higher power or nature because it had no idea that could help, but it was a seeker, and our bodies, our minds are seekers. We don't like pain. So if we're feeling pain, our intuition, our gut, or whatever might be to go to happy hour, might be to have that extra drink, might be to have that cheeseburger with French fries, and all of that releases dopamine and helps us feel better in the moment. But what I realized over the years was it wasn't a sustaining solution. I
Right.
started harming myself, harming people that loved me in a way. And I don't mean physically, I mean just hurting people because they loved me and they watched me get sicker and more disconnected from the universe, disconnected from people that wanted to see me thrive, and I was trying to survive every day. And that's why, and Stanley has a different story and you hear more about it, but this is why we're bringing this to you. You know, we're two guys from different areas, but we have similar journeys. We got sick and tired of being sick and tired. We
Mhm.
cracked the door of willingness, and when the student is ready, many teachers will appear.
That's right. That's it, Charlie. And it's when that door did open, it was like, where has this door been all my life? Well, it was in front of me. I just couldn't see it because I was inundated with all of the ideas that were around me, the things that were socially accepted. And you talk about drinking, it is a socially acceptable practice. And if you fall into that trap, it it never really satisfies itself. And eating can be the same thing. Working out can be the same thing. I was a workaholic. I thought work couldn't hurt me. And then one day I'm up on a top of a roof, 32 feet up, and I slide off and I land on a landscape timber, snap my hip in half. And then I realized that work could hurt me. And it changes when something like that happens, when you hit that roadblock, when you hit that wall, something inside of you changes and you say, there's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
And that's where you come to that place where you have two choices. You can either search for that better way, or you can fall back into the old pattern that you did not like, did not want, and it wasn't producing what the results that you wanted. And that's what has led me on this journey, and it's a continual transformation. And that's what this is. It's about transforming the greatest asset that we have, and that is our life.
Our body, our mind, our spirit, which produces a life beyond our wildest dreams.
Exactly.
So and I too am in the club. No one ever told me. My parents did a great job. They raised us. They believed in that Cocoa Puffs and breakfast cereals and shake and bake pork chops and I mean all the foods that over the years that they introduced into our life. It was good. It was my mom. I have four sisters, a brother. We had a big family, grandparents living there. Cooking from scratch days were starting to be something of the past because how can you possibly keep up with this game of life
Right.
when your time is going to be spent trying to prepare and keep things moving forward? So, and that was when I moved out and continued my life. There was a set of principles and a way of doing things and shopping and addressing problems and how to resolve issues. And like you said, Stanley, I fell off the ladder. Of course, though I wasn't on a roof, but I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. Something wasn't working. Obviously, with alcohol and drug addiction, it's obvious. There's consequences. But how about when you remove that? You've taken the problem out. It's no longer in me, but I'm still not feeling it. I'm still not thriving. I'm still focused on lack, scarcity. Why do I feel this way? I'm sluggish at age 38. I don't, I'm like, something just isn't adding up. And thankfully, I hit a bottom. I surrendered. I called out, I need help. And that's when the door just opened enough where my mind said, I don't know what it said, but it was willing to receive.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing of it is, Charlie, and what I didn't understand then was, even if I did one good thing, but I did something bad, it wasn't that it balanced it, because the thing that was doing that was unhealthy was far greater of a cost that I couldn't see. And it became the source of a pain later on. And that pain can be your energy experience. It could be your thought experience. You get brain fog, you get energy drain at the end of the day. And then you're needing something that constantly boosts that. And, there's an energy drink out there called NOS, nitric oxide. And I had an employee that worked for me several years ago, and he said, "Oh, you got to try this." And I looked at it, and it had 360 milligrams of caffeine. And now that's just what they had to put on the label. But we know from studies that they're not regulated. So it could actually have 400 or 450 milligrams of caffeine, but they know that it had a minimum of 350. So this thing was nitric oxide on steroids. And it definitely could not have anything good that it was taking place, because when you change the way that the heart rate runs and now you can't think straight, you got a little more energy, but at what cost, what peril? And that is, when you're talking about the shake and bake, my gosh, I go back, that was like delicacy, shake and bake. If you bought shake and bake, but that's what the modern conveniences created a catastrophe, but we got used to it. And you look around and you see other people experiencing that same dilemma, and you go, well, it's normal. Everybody's experiencing that.
Excuse me. Again, we will look. It's intuitiveness. That employee wanted to perform at his top self. So to have the energy all day, energy drinks make sense. I mean, what are they sold? These drinks, this Snicker bar and this Red Bull Monster will absolutely energize you. You'll be able to perform at a higher level. Perfect. I mean, what's wrong with that? I don't get it. Right. Well, I mean, I'm not going to look at ingredients or anything. I don't have time, nor do I know to. But so I'm thinking this makes sense. It isn't alcohol. It's not drugs. It's not some pills. It's stuff that I could walk into a store and purchase and then slam a drink, eat a thing. And guess what? They didn't lie. I felt better. I was energized. Right. But it wasn't sustaining. Plus, it was eating my insides. Plus, it was doing a lot of harm. But I didn't know that until I knew that.
Right. Right. And it's when you come to that place in your life, and that's what the Fueled Life podcast is all about. It's about coming to a place of transition that says, hey, maybe I could rethink about this. And I don't say should, but I say you could. You have the possibility. So you can take this information or you can leave it. Our whole intent is to bring you information that causes transformation that I wish I would have had when I was 24 years old. I wish I would have had when I was 18 years old. And the energy that I would have even more so now And I know that all things work together. So even the bad experiences and the good experiences, they work together to make me who I am today. And sometimes we have to hit those roadblocks. We have to come to that place where we go, what is going on to make that door that's screaming to become available for me to see that's right in front of me and make a difference, make an impact.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what we will do on the Fueled Life. This isn't about you're doing it wrong.
Right.
This isn't about we know what's best for everybody. Absolutely not. It's a personal experience, a journey, what it was like, what happened, what it's like now, and continuing our education and learning to get healthier, wealthier, and more connected to source, to the environment, whatever it is that helps us move from surviving in life, which is a hard way of living, to thriving. And Stanley is a big thriver. He's got a lot of this. And we will figure it out. But we will talk about morning pre-flight, how to set the stage. We'll talk about nutrition at times, maybe meditation, maybe breath work. We'll talk about how we overcome the everywhere you go, the messaging, and it's like, geez, you want to come out to happy hour? Hey, do you want to go to this restaurant? Hey, I mean, it's everywhere, and it's not easy, but it is simple. Once we learn some principles, tools, and a better way, man, I step into it daily, and I step out of it sometimes too. So, I'm not perfect. I don't know. Are you, Stanley?
No, and I give myself a few days a month. I honestly do. And I say, give yourself 5 or 6 days a month. Don't add them up so there's no reserve. Okay. You can't carry over June's days if you don't use them into July. Okay. So if you only did 3 days, but we're going to have family functions. We're going to have gatherings. We're going to eat stuff that is not the best thing for us. But make sure that when you're doing it, that you're saying, okay, this is the exception, not the normal. So this is going to be an exception, not what I normally do. And give yourself that leeway. And, you're going to have, okay, maybe you're not, but I am going to have buttermilk cookies at Christmas time. I make some great buttermilk cookies. Okay. I love them. I enjoy them. But I make sure that I give them away too, because otherwise I know my tendency. I know my proclivity. If they're on the counter, I'm going to eat them with some almond milk, of course. So, but the idea is that as you understand the fuel that you're putting into your body, it's going to energize your life in such a way that you're going to get the results that you want. And if you haven't had those results, that's what this podcast is about. It's about helping you navigate so that you can get the results that you desire. And you do this by making a list of what is it that you want to do that you're not doing now. And let's begin to work towards that.
Yeah. Yep. This is a step by step. I go back to think when I started to make it. I didn't transform overnight, but I did start to wake up to a new way. And first the alcohol and drugs. Okay, then I had to work on the mind right away. The parts of me that were thinking I had to go back to that just to survive. No, so I worked on that. Then I started introducing healthier choices, drinking more water. Then I got more exercise. Then I introduced, and it didn't happen overnight, but it was a journey. And I'm still on that journey, but it all starts with the first step. And
Right.
it's a decision that I want to step into a greater version of me. And I know it's like you said in the beginning, Stanley, it's what we got. I mean, this is the body I have.
Right.
I can't go to Walmart and purchase a new one. It's not like a car. I didn't maintain this car. I didn't do a good job with it. I'm done with it. I'm buying a new one. It's
Right.
all fresh engine and everything. And there's people that, me in the old days, I took better care of my boat, my house, the cars, all my things. I never thought to take care of the one thing that was the main engine, the main driver of my life. Didn't even dawn on me.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing of it is, Charlie, is that this is not taught. This should be taught right up there with science and math and reading. It should be health first because our health is our wealth. If you don't have your health, you have nothing. You can be a billionaire. I mean, look at Steve Jobs. You know, the thing about Steve was he would have traded all of it to continue to do the thing that he wanted to do, but his health overtook what his money could not. And I want to say that if there were other choices that he could have made,
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was a genius. Whether you like him or don't like him, he was a genius. You know, wherever he falls on that spectrum, I want to look at the guy as he was very creative, and he could bring this technology intuitivity into our lives. We're using his technology today, and he's been gone almost 11 years. It's hard to believe that it's been about 11 years. Wasn't it 2011 to maybe 2012 that he passed? So maybe it's been longer. Maybe it's been 12 years. Anyway, the information that is now available and being brought forward empowers us. And the greatest life is an empowered life. And I think that's what you're sharing by when you gave up those things that covered over they were distractions to you to what was really in front of you. And look at what you've done, Charlie. You know, I'm amazed at your life. And I share this with everybody that I know. I say, my friend Charlie is legally blind, and he does wakeboarding. He does all kinds of crazy. He's got a scooter. He's doing 30 miles an hour on this thing. And I'm thinking, I'm sighted and I'm not doing that. Okay. So you have removed the limitations by taking the education and implementing it.
Yeah, I break down the barriers to go beyond sight. And here we want to work mostly on breaking down the barriers to go beyond suffering,
That's right.
to go beyond survival. It is whether you're 35, 45, 55, or whatever your age may be, the first sign that something's not right is the love handle, is the extra weight, is the sluggishness, is the fog. I go from one room to the next and I have no idea why I'm in here. That one makes, and that happens still sometimes, but now it's not because of brain fog. It's mostly because I'm doing 18 things and I'm not focused. And I'm walking in like I came in here for something, but I had 14 thoughts on the way in and lost sight of my focus. So anyway, these are signs like brain fog or feeling sluggish in the morning. Kind of body is real creaky. I'm 57 and I got a lot of energy. I enjoy. I don't get up and go, where's the WD-40? I did at 38. I had more pain in my body and life at 38 than I do at 57. So, and I know Stanley, you jump out of bed and, well, maybe you don't start dancing, but you know what I mean? You know that there's a big change. There's massive contrast to the way it was, to what happened, to what it's like now.
Yeah. You know, what I do, Charlie, if I walk into the kitchen and I forget what I'm doing, I just open up the silverware drawer and I pull a spoon out and I carry it with me. And I go, well, why did I do that? Because I went into the kitchen for something and I'm going to leave that room with something. Because I know I'm going to need that spoon sooner or later throughout the day.
That could be denial. I hear you. But these are signs, and it could be I don't really want to go out to dinner to this place, even though I ate that burger, fries, and I had that drink, and I didn't feel great, and I do it again because it releases something in us. That you start questioning your life. And Stanley, you said the cookies. It's everything around us is built to trigger something in us, to help bring us, to get us more addicted, for us to buy it again, whether it's just material things and around us or food. And it's built that way because of the human condition. So it's not that you're a bad person or stupid or it's because it does something. It ignites inside of you, and it's hard to break that. But once you learn the problem, you know what their intentions are, and you say, I am going to do something, you will. And you will be able to, in coming to a podcast, joining a community, find organic healthy eating groups on Facebook. I don't know, stuff like that. You'll find a way of better thinkers, better livers. Actually, yeah, I meant people living life, but actually in our body, better livers. Did you know that alcoholism used to produce a disease called fatty liver disease? Did you know today fatty liver disease is rarely caused by alcoholism? It's caused by the food, and it's in young people in their teens are getting fatty liver disease who've never even drank. How is that possible? Well, we will be talking about many things like that as we move this podcast forward. Today, we can't fix it all or conquer it. Mainly, we wanted to say hello, introduce who we are, give a little bit about us, and let you know this is only episode 1. Keep coming.
That's right. And I want to encourage also those that are listening that you're going to have questions. I want to encourage you with all that I am to submit those questions, put it in the comments. And the reason is because we're able to address the things that you're looking for, the information that you're looking for. I had a young man who is under 30 this morning, sent me a message and said, hey, can you help somebody with brain fog? And I said, is this for you or for someone else? And he said, it's for me. And I said, absolutely. And the reason that I asked if it was for him or for someone else is because I knew how to answer that. And I can absolutely help even if it is somebody else. But this way I know who I am working with, and I don't need to know who you are personally. But when you bring your question and you bring it forward, now we're going to be able to address what is the most pressing need that you are looking to resolve. And understand this. We are not doctors. We're not medical. We're not giving you medical advice, but I will probably push closer on that spectrum of natural healing and natural supplements and understanding what our body is really needing based on the information and the studies that I've done in my own life, and also studying under those that are far smarter than I am. I get to be like the soundboard for them and to communicate. And who knows, you'll be able to take some of this information and really implement and have a greater outcome. That's the intent.
So if this is your first watch, because it can only be the first watch because it's the first video. But anyway, we always ask if you'd like to subscribe. You'll be notified when we're going live. It looks as if we will be going live starting Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Of course, this is all recorded. It can be watched and consumed or just listened to. And with your help, like Stanley said in the comments, whether it's, hey, I want to learn more about this, I want to talk about this, I'm having this type of problem, can you guys address it or help me resolve it? All that stuff is open. We want it because that'll help us thrive and bring content and information that you are looking for. And of course, once we get up and rolling and all, invite your friends and share this, because we're going to do it. We're going to, what we can't keep it unless we give it away.
That's
And
right.
give it away means come to a podcast, write a book, do seminars, offer courses. But right now we're starting out with a podcast, and we appreciate each and every one of you who watched us today, and we look forward to seeing you next week.